All right, guys, welcome to the Wednesday Team Prosperity Weekly meeting. Once again, just as a reminder, we go straight into details that will help you guys coming out of this meeting have more clarity on what you need to be doing to either get your business off the ground, build your business, take it to the next level. Wherever you are, we've got training that should identify certain areas where you can immediately improve. So we are looking at the end of October, you guys, and when you look at what we call the blue ocean. We talked about this before. A lot of times when we first started this, some of you guys have been around for a while. There's little to no competition for what we're doing right now. So what that means is, A, you have a head start. You have a first mover advantage. That's really, really important. But we also talk about the fact we can't sit on that first mover advantage just forever. There will be competition. There will be people trying to mimic what we were doing. So you have a head start. Make sure you take that lead, increase that lead, and don't look back. Just keep looking forward, because as we move, I think our biggest problem is the explosion of business that we're going to have. I don't think we have the human element right now or the human infrastructure to handle that. So understand where we are and understand the magnitude of the opportunity, what's in it for us. Last week, you guys, we talked about the fact that people have too much debt. They have little to no wealth. We're solving both ends of the equation now. So that's very important. We also talked about the fact that not understanding money causes that cash flow burn rate to really increase. They don't really know what's happening to their money. The parasitic relationship between people and the bank, teaching people to take the power back by removing the bank. What is privatized banking? Why this is the golden age of privatized banking. Once again, this is all recorded. This is on our Facebook, our YouTube channel. Your agents coming in. Some of these meetings are more important than others. I think last week was pretty important. It kind of characterizes, what we're doing, why we're doing it, how we're doing it, and the opportunity for people like us in terms of creating wealth for the client as well as ourselves. So this week, we're going to go into a little bit of why, the explosiveness of this opportunity and what's about to happen, how to position yourself to absorb that growth and do so in an orderly way, because just having massive amounts of growth, that's really not a big deal. The big deal is when we can absorb it in an orderly way and give our clients and our partners equal opportunity to take advantage. So the business plan, when I'm looking to bring on people as a partner, I want them and I want you guys to have the desire to dominate the market. This is not just about being competitive. This is about bringing something new, innovative, and really changing an industry. Then secondarily, what's going to get us the best results? People have different approaches. We're all different personalities. Whatever's working, continue to do that. But also if something's not working, we want to kind of siphon that off and try something else. On a side note, don't kill things too early. 90 days to build a pipeline, 90 days to really get an evaluation, something's worth continuing or not. Activity plus accountability, that's the 1-2 combination punch of having, things to do and understanding what those things are producing on the backside. And then finally, don't quit. That element of grit, refuse to give in or give up. It's not going to be a straight line. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have good days, bad days, but the culmination of being able to do what we need to do, put people in the right places with the right infrastructure, this is an amazing opportunity for all of us. So we need to also, within that business plan, we need to adopt a factory pattern. We need to be systematic. So what I'm doing, 4 offices over, needs to be doing the same thing. So when you talk about a factory pattern of setting up a factory, a digital factory in our business, and then understanding, the raw material in terms of lead generation, the fact that you're going to have different stages of production out of that raw material, and the fact that you're going to create end products, outcomes, whatever you want to call it. From those outcomes, there'll be yes, there'll be no's, there'll be partners, clients, revenue, income growth. On top of that factory pattern, that systematic approach, we need to understand, once again, there's going to be an element of grit. Grit is that special part of the recipe that is so important. We have to give ourselves an opportunity. You have to have that time to let our efforts compound to be able to produce what we're looking for. And then once we do that, it's really off to the races. Part of our factory pattern, part of what we really understand that works, is development of the appointment funnel. We're trying to educate. We're trying to talk to people. We're trying to get people on these online meetings for no other reason than to educate them. From that education comes everything else that we do. Comes a desire to see their situation, comes sales, come additional conversations, come back in insurance, retirement, all the things that you're looking for, starts with the ability to build an appointment funnel, get new leads, converting into what we look as the back end conversion for us that leads to everything else, those book meetings. Those are so important, guys. We've got a super cycle brewing. It's exciting, but it's also a little bit intimidating because, like I said, we need to put the infrastructure in place that includes the human element to be able to absorb this in an orderly way. It's really where you guys come in. When you are evaluating the opportunity coming in for yourself, or you are talking to other potential people coming in, you need to understand a few things. Number one, there's a bull market in financial services, macro trends in that industry, huge raging bull market. So to get into financial services, pretty good move career-wise, right, guys? And then what we do is we take the combination of the money game and we meet it with technology. We meet it with superior technology, patented technology. That's the engine for everything else that we do. So that technology in financial services creates the fintech opportunity. And if you look at the last quarter century of the wealth that's been created, it comes from technological innovation and the ability to be able to use and own that. So the fintech opportunity is huge. You guys have an amazing opportunity, and that creates what we call, a very powerful digital franchise opportunity. How many people right now, we talk about this, either voluntarily or involuntarily, are on the move for one or more various reasons? People are looking for a new way of life. They're looking to take more control, spend more time doing things like with their spouse, their kids, whatever it is they want to do. There's never been a better time than right now to be building this type of a business where you're actively trying to recruit talented individuals into your organization. It's a great time to really, take your goals, take your expectations, and 10x it, because you have no point of resistance for scalability for this operation and opportunity other than going out, doing what you need to do, and then progressing along the timeline of really what we need you to become. And when you look at that timeline, it starts with understanding that nobody comes in as the CEO. Nobody comes in as the starting pitcher. There's a minor league system to Major League Baseball, and there's a minor league system to a lot of what we do in terms of in the business world of bringing in people and developing people up to a certain way. So no matter where people start, there's no indication of where they're going to finish. And your income next month versus your income 12 to 18 months from now can be dramatically different. So understand the point in time where we are now, understand what you need to do to put yourself in a position to earn those high incomes. And understand that we're trying to create a model also that helps, cure one of the biggest problems in this industry, which is people make money, people spend money, people make money, they spend money. They're never really developing anything for themselves. So our comp structure and what we're able to provide provides immediate income and provides lasting income over years. That's important because when you wake up, that first day of every new year, and you're looking at money that's already due to you coming in, well, what's that really worth? Residual income is actually worth a lot. You got $10,000 in monthly residual income. That would be the same as having $2.4 million in the bank earning 5%. So understand, we're trying to set us up for, yes, near term, but also long-term success for our clients as well as our partners. That's important. And then you go from 6 to 7 figures by being able to, first of all, grow yourself and then grow your business as a mentor. When you're able to help other people reach their goals, dreams, then the organizational growth that happens from helping individuals reach their individual goals is that's distribution, and that's an exponential growth factor. So we have to rise to the moment. We don't start as a mentor, but to grow ourselves first through the learning curve, and that's what we're really here for. We help you to simplify your business, gain your time back, and scale faster than ever. And like I said, it really starts with the understanding there's a learning curve. Your income now and going forward is really just a continuous reflection of you learning and doing new things. So what can I learn and how can I implement that into my business? How I can teach other people if it's something that is successful. But that's a constant cycle. You never, ever, ever stop learning. And if you or your partners do, once you stop growing, you start contracting. And that's a bad place to be in business as well as personal growth. So we need to learn as an agent. We're not asking somebody to come in and take over a lot of responsibility. We're asking them to come in as an individual and learn this business as an agent. And then at a certain point, when they create independence, can they take what they've learned, the systematic approach, as well as everything that goes into managing human beings, and take that knowledge and transfer it into management? If you can, you understand the what, the how, and the why of this business. And then, like I said, you get a crash course in human psychology being a manager. But overall, once you're able to put the pieces into place, there's nothing that's going to stop this growth. It can be frustrating, you guys. So along the way, people don't show up, people don't do what they're supposed to, people quit. Whatever the reason is, you're going to have these days. But when you start letting the outside world affect what you feel and your direction and where you're trying to go, then you've lost control. You have to remain in control and understand you have no control over the outside world. You do what you need to do, and over time, those things will fall into place. I keep bringing this up because I think it's one of the most important things that we can teach from a management perspective, is to understand that emotional cycle of change. Everybody that comes into this on a partner side, they're excited. They understand what we're doing. They're excited about it. But the natural course of learning, the learning curve, having the activity, getting rejected, going through all the stuff that's normal in the business world, they start to slip from that candy high into informed pessimism, valley of despair. Our job as an individual is to understand this process and make sure we avoid just skipping back and forth, a repeat from valley of despair to a new opportunity, uninformed optimism, and repeating that cycle. For us and our partners, we understand that when people are down here, we are empathetic about where they are, but we also understand how to push them over to the other side so they can get through that and then start to get to the other stages: hopeful realism, informed optimism, and ultimately the breakthrough that gives us the success that we were expecting on the front side. So everybody goes through this, everybody gets down, everybody gets depressed about things. Understand that at that moment we can push through or we can quit. If we quit, all we're doing is starting this cycle all over again. It all starts from activity. So if somebody calls me and says, hey, I stepped out of my comfort zone yesterday, called somebody that was, above me in terms of, there's a little bit of, what they're able to accomplish in their professional life. And throughout the course of the phone call, they started asking me difficult questions. I freaked out and hung up. Well, first of all, I'm going to say great job on stepping out of your comfort zone. We'll work on not hanging up the phone during a conversation. But you have to understand, you're not going to go and just start picking up the phone and having these great conversations, knowing all the answers, directing them. It's going to take a period of time where you're getting the rocks out of your mouth. You can't just skip this process. It's important. So in the very beginning, all you're looking for from yourself as well as your partners is just to have the activity. We'll smooth out the process and we'll get to where we need to go, but we'll never get there if we're always waiting on that perfection. I'm going to start when I understand everything. That's just a veiled excuse to continue to procrastinate, kick the can down the road. Activity on the first stages of this business is going to propel the person into the next stages, or it's just going to kill this altogether. And then through the process, once we learn how to have activity, and once we start feeling a little bit more comfortable, we can start to master and increase the flow of the pipeline. This is a pyramid that I use and I teach because when you master this, it becomes very easy to control conversations. Remember, that rapport on the front end doesn't have to be very long. You guys are some people are very good at this. Some of us are not. That small talk on the front end can be a learned skill, but the rapport and trust credibility, that bottom of the pyramid allows for the rest of the pyramid to take place, because once we have rapport, trust, credibility, people start to open up and they give us the information just by letting them talk. From that information, we uncover something, usually a problem they're having. At that time, we can introduce a solution and then the action step for that solution. Without the bottom of the pyramid, nothing else happens. If you don't have the rapport, trust, credibility, no information comes out. No information comes out, no problem comes out. You can't offer a solution. You can't direct an action step. So in the beginning, activity is very important. As you have that activity for a period of time, we get better and better and better at controlling our conversations, increasing the flow of our pipeline, and directing the people to where we want them to go. Remember, it doesn't have to mean that whoever is the smartest, whoever knows the most on the phone call is going to direct the call. We can not know everything about our business model and still be the most confident on the phone. Now, you don't want to step outside your bounds and start answering questions you don't have the answer for. Be honest, but be confident, guys. Whoever's the most confident on these phone calls, on these meetings, is usually going to be able to direct the other party. You need to learn how to close before you prospect. When I say close, it's developing a yes formula. What do we want people to do on the front side? Check out some basic information, get guides, get into education meetings. The more you can develop a yes formula, the top of that funnel, obviously the more backside outcomes come out of that. One of the ways that you can really control the conversation and feel confident is understand you're growing on purpose. We're a mission-driven company. The mission directly impacts the quality of the product, the services, what we do. You understand the problem that we're fixing, the solutions that we're bringing, the fact that you're growing on purpose to provide solutions to the marketplace becomes easier to talk to people about what you do. Remember, there's a paradigm shift happening all around us right now. And usually when that happens, people either kind of ride that wave or that shift and capitalize on it, or that wave kind of crests and then falls on top of them, swallows them up. A lot of people drown. So in our paradigm shift, we are capitalizing as partners, and we are teaching our clients how to capitalize as well, because everything's changing. We grew up, or some people grew up hearing, do this, life's going to be pretty good, right? Go to college, get a job, buy a house, pay off the mortgage, save a little each month, you'll be set for life. Well, that was good advice. And it was rock solid advice because previous generations lived very differently than the lifestyle that we're living. I mean, look at what's going on. Lived in the same house, had one job, lived on one income, retired with a pension, had virtually no credit card debt, saved a little money consistently, could count on Social Security. For people at a certain age, Social Security is probably not going to even be there. It'll be there in a much more micro format than it is right now. So understand that previous generations, the previous advice that helped that generation or those generations, it's really not pertinent anymore. It doesn't really apply to us. They planned on being retired also for only a few years. Our life expectancy, our life cycle is lengthening. So today, look at what happens. I mean, some of these numbers are even small, in my opinion. So when you move 4 to 6 times in your lifetime, have 3 to 7 jobs, need 2 incomes just to live and survive, never have a pension, struggle with credit card debt, save very little money, worry about Social Security being there. So the environment has changed. The advice, the education, direction, the action steps need to change as well, because we could be retired for possibly 30 years or more. We talked about this a little bit at the beginning of the meeting before we started. But when you have ultra excessive monetary policy of stimulus and money printing, well, look at what happens. You have inflation. At the same time, we have an expansion of the monetary policy. We have supply side shocks. That creates inflation, which means purchasing power of those dollars that we have and our clients have buys less and less and less. Well, what happens over the course of the time where inflation, if it does not subside and go away, what happens? Well, we have to fight that. And when we fight that, we raise interest rates to curb inflation. What does that mean? We owe money, interest rates rising, that's a problem for us. If we've got assets, interest-bearing assets, interest rates rising, that's good for us. So what are we doing? We're eliminating the debt, creating the wealth, and we'll be able to capitalize as this macro environment starts to change from ultra low interest rate environments to higher rates. And what we do is we create exact strategies. And this is so important, guys, because what do people want? They want control. They want peace of mind. They want to understand it. They want exact strategies that we produce that'll take somebody from a state of confusion to a state of confidence. And that's so important. And going back to growing on purpose, that's a mission-driven company. What we're doing, creating peace of mind and creating control for the future is one of the most important things that you can do. What does an exact strategy look like? Well, it looks like the shortest route from A to B. So this is what we do. Where are you now? Where do you want to go? What's the shortest, most efficient route to get us there along the way, avoiding all the pitfalls, traps that other people will see and really not even realize it's happening. So when we look at kind of the recipe for success, we're looking at 2 things, and it's extremely simple for our clients: a predictable strategy that creates whatever they're trying to do, and a proven process that will secure that strategy for the long run with a track record of success. So predictable strategy, proven process for the long run. That's what we're creating in these exact strategies. And there's two types of people, guys, and there's a line down the middle. It's the empowered, those people who know how to take control of their future. And there's on the other side, those people in the dark, have no clue, not stepping out to learn any new information, fixed mindset. They'll pay the ultimate price for that. But the empowered who control their situation, they have a plan and they know the exact following: how much money, how much time, to the dollar, to the day. All of these are so important. And what we do, guys, on the front end, we don't charge anything to sit down. There's some great education that we do, and looking at the situation in a detailed way that creates the answer solution that gives our clients the confidence and control. Once we get that solution, we'll lead with education. If they want to see what their situation looks like, we'll solve the puzzle and we'll show them for free. It's up to them to take the necessary action steps that we can help with as well. We're trying to set up long-term business relationships. We're not trying to sell products and services and disappear, trying to be there along the way to make sure our clients reach their dreams, goals, whatever it is they're trying to do. And then you guys need to frame conversations. When you're working with people, the more that you can do on the front side to disqualify people and make sure they understand of who you work with and who you don't work with, it's easier when you get to that end point to call them out if they've kind of reverse cycled. So when we do this, we provide the education, we solve the puzzle, we show them for free. They've got to be willing, but they've also got to understand the need to devise a plan of action to reach their expectations and goals. You don't drift into a life that you want. You create it with an action plan and execution. That's very important. And once again, guys, I keep bringing this up. If we're doing the right thing for the client on the front side with education, on the back side with all the systems, product services that we offer, ask for referrals. When you ask for referrals, you don't say, hey, who else can you give me as a referral? Who else do you know and care about that needs to know this information? You should be getting referrals from everybody that you're helping, because those people that you're helping, they bought into this. They understand what we're doing. They understand how it can help them. Why wouldn't some of that inner circle they care about also want to know about this? So you need to stop selling and you need to start interviewing, because once you make the connection of where somebody is right now, where they want to be, then you can show them how to get there. Once you understand what somebody wants and the ability to show them how to develop a roadmap to get there, guess what? They start listening, because now you're showing them how to get what they want. It's going to increase your sales. So if you stop selling and start interviewing, start really getting to know people and what they want, then it's going to increase your sales. So you need to understand that what we do, the technology, it's just an avenue or a way to get us to an endpoint. That endpoint is going to be unique to the people you speak to. Without a why on the front side, without an end destination we want to go to, it's going to be really hard to help them understand how this is going to assist. And then finally, guys, what I want to talk about is, what is your primary motivation in recruiting? Because you need to understand, in some models, people recruit to sell them products. In our model, we're recruiting talented individuals to help us with the explosive growth that we're about to experience. So you need to understand, and that needs to come out in your conversations with other people. Why are you talking to them about this business opportunity? Why are you trying to attract certain people into this business model? Recruitment's about people, and they need to match what we're trying to do as far as the goals, the values, the missions that we're trying to do, the right role and the right direction. If you fail to get those aspects right when you're bringing in people, hiring and recruiting, you're failing your business, because everybody's got to buy into the same thing. We don't need dislocation in different offices based on, our inability to disqualify the people that we don't need in this organization from the very start. That's important. Your vision is what you are selling potential prospects on the partner side. And your vision can be from an organizational vision, but also your vision itself. Remember, people are going to buy into you, what you're trying to accomplish, because you're working with them daily. You're coaching, mentoring, training, support. So that vision has to be crystal clear, has to be articulate, and has to really speak to what you're trying to accomplish. And that's just not about next month. What are you trying to do over the next few years? And why would it be advantageous for an outsider who would be qualified for our organization to join us? What's the benefits of them coming in to attach to the organizational vision, our mission, what we're trying to do on a team level. If those are in alignment, then you go from an interested party to now being able to talk about commitment from each side. You guys meet each other halfway, and that's really, as you have partners coming in, that's the conversation that you want to have with them. Get rid of the pieces that don't fit and get rid of them as early as possible. Now, that doesn't mean just in the conversation. Just because somebody doesn't fit, for example, in a partner conversation, you really need to learn how to not, like we talked about, eject, hang up the phone. We don't want to pause. We want to pivot. Partner opportunity is not right. Client opportunity might be right for them. Go over to the education. Same thing with the client. Inside the client conversation, sometimes we can pivot over the partner opportunity for one or more variable reasons. So understand, conversation is very fluid. It's not a one-way street. You can go a lot of different directions based on the information that the other party is giving you during those conversations. And guys, be obsessed with the next action step. You have to. You can't let just things be out in the air for the other side to decide on when they want to talk to you again. You have to be obsessed with leading them to the next action step and getting that booked on the calendar or whatever else it is. Action step after action step after action step builds a pipeline, leads the pipeline down into outcomes. Give it time, guys. You have to be consistent. I've seen people come in and tear this up for a few months and then basically just take their foot off the pedal. I've seen people come in and ramp up over a period of time and really get going. This is not a sprint. This is more like a marathon. So whatever speed you come in at, you need to not only keep that speed, but over time, increase that speed. You build a great foundation. You build something with meaning, and then you surround yourself with like-minded people who will help you get to the organizational goals. But then when you break down what's under that umbrella, just a bunch of people trying to get to their individual goals. So what are you going to do going forward? It's really important because as we head into, for example, the holiday season, I've got a plan of action where, I want to get ahead of my competition. So my holidays is going to be spent with some family, but it's also going to be spent learning, retooling, getting myself into a position so that next year, 2022, I'm in the best position, the teammates that are around me in the best position to handle this explosive growth. Explosive growth also means explosive growth to revenue, income, promotions, equity, all the things that you guys are looking for to change you and your family's life. It's right here. You're on the edge of it. Just got to make sure you position yourself accordingly. So that's it for this week, guys. We're just going to continue to just really nail down what's happening and how you should be going forward to capitalize and put other people in similar situations.